thrill. I'm searching and I'm melting to you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Someday you'll go through the rain, and someday you'll feed on a tree for all. It's ordeal, the trial to survive. For the day we seek new light, I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime is the way.
Any of y'all nipples. Respect women.
I'm still in a dream, snake eater. I'm still in a dream, snake eaters.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Far too kind. Woo. Yeah. Ready? Let's go. Can I get an encore? Do you want more? Cook and roll with the Brooklyn boys. So for one last time, I need y'all to roll. Yeah. Now what the hell are you waiting for? All right, let's get started.
Are you sure that this is the one, sir?
Yeah, thanks. Good to see you again. Forgive me for what I'm about to do. You're the key to everything.
You're now standing in D-Day, the world beyond the wormholes. Now go. Your journey's just getting started.
Don't move! Hands up! Back away from me! Your gear? A Mother Base survivor? Hey, you okay?
If you run into anyone along the way, take them to base camp with you. They just might save your life. All sorts of things wash up in D-Day from other dimensions. Some of them will help you complete your mission, so craft something out of the materials around you.
Rebooting. The enemy has been drawn to the energy surge. You should craft units that will aid you in taking on multiple enemies.
It's possible to use wormholes to summon units to your location as well.
construct the specified facility at the base camp. These preparations will determine whether or not the entirety of the crew makes it home.
Yo, what is up? Oops. Yo, what is up, everybody? Where's the... No, not that one. Rip. There we go. Wait for it. There we go. Yo, okay, what's up, everybody? That was the introduction to Metal Gear Survive's, like, first player, single player, open story mode. I was gonna say open beta, but that's actually the story mode gameplay of Metal Gear Survive, coming out this Tuesday, this Monday, and this Wednesday for some people on all different platforms, whether you're on PC, PlayStation, Xbox. Check your region time for exact release dates, but it's coming out shortly to everybody. So first I want to introduce myself. I am Baby Joker 0319. Another member of K-Code, the one hosting this magnificent show that we call KCAST, that we host, I would say monthly now, because before we were trying to do it every other week, but it's not enough content to release weekly, so I think we're going to do it as a monthly thing. But I'm Baby Joker 0319. Next to me is our next guest here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Jimmy Diction. I'm a Mega Solid streamer slash variety streamer. I will be streaming Metal Gear Survive when it drops on Thursday.
Alright, and also next to us we don't have a camera for him, but he can introduce himself. I believe he has audio. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm Sean. I'm a content creator and also independent game designer. You know, I go around the scene, so yeah.
He's an around the scene kind of guy. He's also a member of K-Code, which is our little Konami affiliated group that we use to either stream, create content, do chat shows, or what do they call it? Interviews and reviews and different things. So we have a variety with us today. Welcome, Sean. Also, I know this is your first time being a part of the K-Code podcast, so I appreciate having you here. Also, Jim, appreciate you too. But right now we wanted to just touch base on what's been going on so far in Metal Gear Solid Survive. Is it Solid Survive or is it Metal Gear Survive?
Metal Gear Survive.
So the Metal Gear Survive world. So I know this Friday came the Metal Gear Solid, so I keep saying Solid, the Metal Gear Survive beta, second beta, and that's now available over the weekend for everybody who wants to play it or take part in it or experience the gameplay of the Metal Gear series in this new spin-off open world co-op multiplayer single player action-packed survival shooter game. I think I touched base of everything that it's in it so far, but from my understanding,
Yeah, just about.
basically
Basically.
so from what I understand so far in the game, they released one game mode to us, which is in the beta. It's the scavenge mode, where I believe it's a part where you have to get a drill extract, you plant it in the center of the field, you have to protect it while scavenging gears and running multiple side missions while collecting resources, which is, from what I hear, is one part of the multiplayer. There's other content that has not yet been revealed to us, but it's going to be a very important, I guess the scavenging is the most important part of the survival series. And as you've seen in the trailer I played before this, there's different aspects you have to do. You have to craft materials, set up your station. You would have a health bar that relies on your food and your hydration levels that you need to keep up with in the middle of fighting a horde of zombies. So it's not like you're a Superman. You could just go around, button mash, sprint all over the place, and outrun zombies. Because you do get tired, you get fatigue, and you're gonna be in trouble if you decide you want to be an action hero. So I guess the first subject that we wanted to talk about on release date, what is everybody going to be doing as far as Metal Gear coming out? I think I want to pass this one to Sean because I think I have a list that I would like to say myself. So I'm going to pass it to Sean since he's a content creator, not much of a streamer. So I don't think he really needs an audience for what he does. He can just tell us what he's been working on, what he's working on, what he plans to be working on as far as the release date of Metal Gear Survive. So I'll let you take the floor here.
All right. Well, in terms of Metal Gear Survive content, the main goal that I see for myself is completely tearing the game apart and really judging it for what it is. Obviously, with the whole situation surrounding the game and the huge amount of I would say bias towards it, but really, like, people can say whatever they want to justify how they feel about the game, right? There's this stigma surrounding it, and I want to really see if any of that holds any weight to it as far as me personally and as like just a game in general as a co-op survival game, because I really like those types of games and I was looking for that in Metal Gear Solid 5. So I really want to see how it stacks up. And other than that, I'm looking towards other avenues for types of content because I've never really, other than MGO that one time before MGO came out, where I was releasing videos almost daily, I never really did that again with any other game. So if my interest in Survive peaks to that level, I may do something akin to that. But for now, it's just a review of the game to the best of my ability to do it justice.
Nice. Okay, so you're gonna be working on more reviews. I had a question about some of the content you create. So you do animations, or like what specifically as far as content creating do you do?
I've done a little bit of everything. I've like just debates with my own crew of people that I work with. I've done parody stuff. I've done standard reviews, and I've also just in general just done discussions about games and news breakdowns. But I never really settled into one thing. For a while, I was doing machinima stuff with breakdowns mixed in. Like for MGO, I was doing funny parody stuff while also explaining the game modes and how they worked.
Nice.
Which was one of the best videos that I did so far. But then right after that, the game kind of started plateauing, and everyone that was helping me out stopped.
Understood.
So I couldn't keep doing it, and that's how that went.
So with Metal Gear Survive coming out, it might be a perfect time, I guess, since we know about it in advance a little bit, that we can start setting up our content from now, using either footage from the beta and then on release date, catching footage as quickly as possible, and then creating content that we could post out there, because everybody's going to be looking into it, I believe, like that first week, probably even the first month, to see how they feel about it, to see what reviews it gets from IGN or any other gaming source that likes to write reviews about it. And then people that actually play the game are definitely going to look towards content creators such as you to go ahead and like say, hey, this is what you feel about the game, so how does it play out, or is it something I can play with friends, is it something I should look forward to, or is it something I shouldn't even bother with? So you got heavy time.
I've been building the video. I've been building up the content. I just need to really sit down and say, what am I gonna say about this? Like, what am I gonna say? Which is where I'm at right now.
That's great. That's great. That's exactly how I feel, because, like I said, I'm planning on revolving my channel around it. Probably slow down on being a variety streamer and focus mainly on Metal Gear. So I would be labeled as a Metal Gear streamer as I was before with the Phantom Pain. I was one of the ones like just like Jim as an FOB streamer. That I used to run FOBs in the Phantom Pain with Jim a lot, and then I got recognized by Konami and they invited me into K-Code. Actually, I really tried hard to get into K-Code, and according to the first podcast, I've explained that story, so I'm not going to touch base on that too much about me. But if you want to see it, you can always just go back to my previous videos or my highlights. All the previous podcasts are there. But with Survive coming out being a fresh new start, and me being able to, I'm going to be available on that day to play it. I'm going to just try to go in depth and get the inside scoop of what's going on as far as a single player. Probably do some tips, hints, and tricks on like where you can find certain resources, what weapons work well in certain areas. Like I know they're going to have different types of enemies, and you're going to want to have the most effective way to be able to destroy those enemies and move on to continue with the mission.
Oh yeah, then you have the
ammunition counts
themselves, and the difficulties and the type of drops that you can get. Maybe there's not the fact that there's going to be probably exclusive gear from both single player and multiplayer that can be acquired specifically. That's also could be a thing.
Definitely.
Or special crafting recipes like that. Like this game is all about min-maxing, like just like in the Division where you have like actual like setups and gear sets. This is akin to that, but in a different way because you have the single player, which you play completely differently and much more slower compared to, say, the multiplayer, which is a lot more action-packed.
Definitely.
Or at least from the beta, right? And the gameplay demos we've seen.
Definitely. So that's why I think also compared to like Division, that was a perfect example. Like in Division, I didn't want to have to read my stats, look at a bunch of numbers to try to find out what's the maximum gear, what's the best thing to use to fight in the dark zone and such not. I'd rather have just gone to YouTube and look up somebody or something that actually has the things, the numbers laid out to me so that I can see it. So Metal Gear Survive would be a perfect way to do that. Like from what I've seen so far in the beta, I know the first level, the one that's the daily mission today, for the first level, I know where to pick up all the resources, how many resources come in that area per the level, and then what you should look at. Like I made like a whole chart for it. Like I didn't need to do that, but that's something that's good to have so that on the release date, okay, if everything still match up the same and it's not different, bam, released it. This is where you can find this content, that's where you can get that. If you're looking for certain material,
in general,
perfect.
In general, you can already break down the locations for Kuban energy that you can mine at the beginning, because it's going to be useful to speed up the drill. So it's nice to hit those spots and get that early energy to get a jump start.
Definitely. So things like that is little things that I want to put together quick so I can know like before the game happens. Things that I can just suggest to other people, create content for it, and then it would bring attention not just to only my channel but to K-Code, because when I stream I promote K-Code majority of the time just so I can say, hey, don't just check out me, because when I go offline somebody else is going to be live, so check them out and try to circulate the community so that everybody can touch base and show them a different side of the game, so that it's not like I don't like this game because of this one person I saw, he didn't play to my style so I don't like his gameplay. Then they go to somebody else that probably plays different from me because I'm more running and gun and action. Jim might play more slow paced and stealthy and might not want to get detected, but everybody has a different taste or a different play style they like to play in. So just to bring something to the people that are interested in the game instead of the F Konami haters, then I want to entertain the community that is there and give them something to watch.
Do you have any input on this, Jim?
Yeah.
I see you quiet. I wanted to get you in.
Basically.
On the game.
Not listening at all. It's okay, Jim. Alright, but so far what we're talking about content as far as Metal Gear Survive. So your day one plan. What's your day one plan for Survive when it comes out on release date?
To play multiplayer. I'm hoping to play multiplayer with you. So do that, and then on times when no one's like playing multiplayer and that, then I'll probably jump on the single player and do some of that.
Alright.
And then I'll probably do as well. Start doing challenges on that game as well.
The gym challenges are coming back, you say?
So, yeah, and then I'll probably even start uploading some YouTube videos as well.
So for the people that don't know what your
right.
challenges are, can you give them like a taste of what your challenges were, like back in Phantom Pain when you had gym challenges? What made it so challenging for you? Why did you call it a challenge?
Well, on FBs, it used to be like whether I could go inside with like no weapons. Like I done one where it's hand-to-hand combat. I done another one where it's water pistol challenge. I went into the Intel platform with just a pistol. I done one with only an empty magazine clip.
Damn. Imagine that, playing a survival zombie game with no weapons or just a ammo magazine. That's it, going in and rocking it. So that would be something definitely interesting to see. So, gym addictions challenges.
That's kind of like
CQC only.
Yeah,
zombies.
I mean that's kind of a given because it's like you want to make sure your stuff doesn't immediately break.
Exactly.
So it's like going in there, not doing, not trying to waste anything, and just going clean is nice. Also, to the guys in the chat that don't know who I am, my name is Sean again, for the people that didn't hear it, because somebody asked that in the chat.
I was writing it, but I was talking.
Just,
where were we though? Jim, back to you. So about your challenges, that was you said something before the challenges. That was about you were gonna join me in multiplayer before on release date. So to elaborate on that a little bit, what I plan to do is, instead of joining in and going right into the single player story mode, which everybody else I know for a fact is gonna do because they want to see the single player, they're gonna jump directly into the single player. They're gonna take about 20 hours of the game to go through it the first time, and then they're gonna jump to multiplayer. Where me and Jim kind of orchestrated a plan where we're gonna actually try to jump into multiplayer first. We're gonna try to get ranked up on the leaderboards. We're gonna try to decipher the multiplayer gameplay of the game, hit max rank, what we need to do, get everything done, collect some resources. Then once you see the multiplayer start to slow down, die down, nobody's really online anymore, then we could change our streams around and go to our single player gameplay during that downtime, which will allow people to catch up to us and start getting things done in the multiplayer. But by the time we finish the multiplayer, we would have already been where they're trying to get at, and then continue from there on in order to rank up and, you know, be able to give people hints, tips, tricks, or just be the OP person that joins the group and it's like, I've done this before, bam, finish the game. Easy. So that's kind of our game plan for release date, to jump straight into the multiplayer, start streaming multiplayer at the beginning of the game to continue it. And then once story mode is already seen, previewed, or watched by your favorite streamer, then you could go ahead and do so. But when you want to see who's at the top, K-Code, we gonna hold that title. So
that sounds like a good plan. That sounds good.
I know there's gonna be downtime. There's gonna be time where people, they don't burn out the game from playing the story mode, or they get stuck on a certain part in single player and they can't continue. But during all that downtime, they're not gonna be making any progress. Even in multiplayer, if you do fail the mission, it's not like you actually fail the mission, you don't get anything, you have to redo it. You get the resources up to the part that you did because you did use the materials, or you'll be grinding materials. You'll just get the ranking from where you failed and then continue from there. So it would still continuously be a grind, but not as much. We'll be able to see more of the game modes. We'll be able to do the daily missions, probably get that out of the way and continue. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah, which says a lot, because that means you could, if you wanted to do that as a strategy, you could go with basically nothing.
Exactly.
Don't waste any resources and just fighting with just melee weapons, trying to get as many resources as you can, because you're not going to be wasting anything. You're just going to be gaining resources the whole time.
Yeah.
Which could pump back into the single player.
Well, no, because I heard the single player and the
So,
multiplayer are not
win-win.
tied at all. But that single player is, like I said, for your self-enjoyment. But the multiplayer is going to be the thing that has the leaderboard. And I feel like once the single player is completed and you've finished the single player, you might get an exclusive content that you can wear as your online avatar in multiplayer. But that's just the costume. But you're still going to need to go to multiplayer individually and grind and make everything. Because what I also understand is the beta is not going to transfer over. Everybody's going to start a new game, new point, 0 at the beginning. So while everything is fresh.
So what you're saying is that So what you're suggesting is that the levels and gear that you get are separate for the both
Correct.
modes. Is that what you think
Well,
it
they
is?
stated that. They stated single
That-
players, 20 hours of solid
but-
gameplay. Nothing converts over from beta. It's going to be its own standalone items and whatnot that you're going to collect. But I believe multiplayer has similarities, but it has nothing to tie together. So when you play multiplayer, it's like starting another game for a multiplayer side campaign, where you're gonna have, like they said, the staging lobby, and then you go into some multiple missions. Where, like I said, the one in the beta is only the scavenging part of it. So I believe you could probably change your staging area around a bit and fortify a little bit more and get different gears and weapons and the leveling, of course. But they have classes.
I gotta be honest. I don't know how I feel about that. To be honest, like that changes a lot of how the overall experience is gonna be.
That's true, but that's the thing too, because there's gonna be people. Because if you think about it this way, if you have a survival game solo, you'll get a different experience than playing with a friend. Because like, if you play solo, you're gonna probably want to play more conservative. Because if you die, then it's a wrap. Nobody can pick you up. You have to stop. But if you're playing in multiplayer, you know, oh, I'm just gonna run in and gun it. If I die, my teammate could pick me up. And it's a different feel. So I feel like it was smart on their end to make it solo and then multiplayer, because then there's going to be two different play styles. Like, they might want to throw more of a horde at you in multiplayer than in single player. But in single player, I believe, since it's like a world map, it's going to be a lot greater, and you would have to have a certain level of gas mask to explore to that region. And it has they have an item leveling system.
Wouldn't you think that would divide the amount of players that play both modes, though? Like, what reason would there be for anyone else to invest into a mode where they basically, it is just a one-off mode? I mean, granted, you could say, oh, well, it's just for the fun of it, right? You could say that, but I don't know, like, with something like this, where these two modes are basically the main package of what the game is advertising, it feels kind of weird in a way, where a separate mode that doesn't have any correlation to the main single player.
No, I didn't say it would have. I wouldn't say it
somehow-
would have no correlation. It's just saying that there's no tie to your character as far as items, weapons, or leveling. Like, it'll tie together. Like, you'll do something on the FOB, unlock a new thing, and then let's say in multiplayer you go through the same thing. You can unlock the same items, but it's not going to start off at that level that you already grinded through single player. It's going to be the same weapon but a different type. Like, let's say you get the axe, the battle axe, for example. If you get the battle axe in single player, I believe at the beginning you start off with like a picket, and then maybe after upgrading you start fortifying your mother base a little bit more. You're getting more material so that you could turn wood into iron to steel and metal and something like that, and then it becomes like a higher power, a higher grade. Then you could start adding elements to it. Like, I think you saw a flaming bat that you were able to throw or hit somebody with, something like that. But in multiplayer, you would get I guess the item, and then you would have to put the element on it, but it's not going to go through a story mode of how you had to unlock it and upgrade it. It would be an individual item to be that item.
Well, in the multiplayer was a crafting recipe, though. Like, it's you have to make it, and then you can add on to it from there. But I don't know. Like, that if the game is going to be that different by launch, then that's going to change. That's going to change what I think about it, because just like with Monster Hunter World, where the beta just kind of was way different than when the actual game was going to be like. It threw me for a loop, because now it's like the initial impression that I got from the beta is almost null in that sense, because it's nothing like that at all.
But that's what I was saying. The beta was only released so it can test the server and the players and the capacity to fix little bugs before the release. And like I said, the multiplayer beta was actually just a standalone one game mode that you could play, which is the resource thing. So there's gonna be different modes for the multiplayer, but I think probably, like they said, the story mode is gonna be something, in my opinion, like Grand Theft Auto, where Grand Theft Auto, you start off in an open world. You can do whatever you want in that open world: kill people, get resources, collect cars, bring it back to your garage to save the cars, things like that. But you would have team deathmatch as a game mode. You would have the racing as another game mode. You would have the bank heist as another game mode. But it all depends on what you do. Where I feel like the story mode is going to be kind of similar, where Grand Theft Auto has a story mode just for entertainment to give off a story, so you could understand the feel of the zombies and what they are, and give an introduction of the game and the spin-off and let you know what it is. So that's for your own understanding and enjoyment. But the multiplayer is for people that already understand the concept of the game and they want to go out and grind, level, compete, and basically break off into the different game modes to do what they enjoy in order to level. So I feel like that's what it
But
is.
see, like, yeah, no, like the how it is, like I don't say that. I don't want to say that you're wrong or anything, but I'm just kind of like I want to dive into this concept and say like what does that mean for people that play it, because somebody in the chat just mentioned how Ghost Recon Wildlands did Ghost War, and I kind of felt the same way about it with because in Ghost War the multiplayer is completely separate to the single player.
Correct.
You don't need to play the multiplayer. You don't need to play the single player to unlock stuff. Like they're both completely separate. However, it brings up the question of why invest time into it other than for just a quick fun game or whatever with a few friends. There's no reason to invest further than that. And I want to say, like, what is that?
I actually
for
have
you
an
guys?
answer for that as
Like-
far as Ghost War goes. I don't know about Survive, but as far as Ghost War, what happened is on Reddit, I believe there was a post that people were complaining that, hey, we have a co-op game and an open world game, but my friend thinks he's better than me, and there's no way that I can prove I'm better than him other than the gear that I get, which apparently he can get the same gear by end game. And other than leveling, there's no way to actually compete to see who's a better shooter, who gets more points, things like that. So they created Ghost War as a competitive way. So instead of it just being a solo, standalone, co-op, open world game, they needed something for the competitive side of the gameplay for people. So they created Ghost War as an open, a free, I think it was a free download that you're able to do to download. Also, you know them with their microtransactions. It's another way for them.
Well, the microtransactions are new, are being slowly churned out, because if you saw, they also added in the Rainbow Six operators. They're going to add them as like skins.
Yeah, they added ranking as well.
Yeah, they added a ranking mode.
like-
They added the ranking mode. That's what I said. They added the ranking mode to Ghost War because, like I said, other than it being just a competitive multiplayer casual play, they could be trying to reach for something higher. The game could build a community so that they can make it a EA competitive sports or something that people can compete in other than just a story-based game. Like for something, another game for an example, Kingdom Hearts. Never's been multiplayer from what I understand. It's just been a standalone story-based game driven by story, perfect. A lot of people in Metal Gear complain that, oh, we wanted a co-op Metal Gear game, but how can you give a co-op Metal Gear game that was a solo game based on story that people know it for, without throwing it completely off?
Well, I mean, Peace Walker managed to do it fine.
I guess you could say that.
I mean, because the story was still linear. Like, the story still followed Big Boss. It's just, you don't need an explanation for why the other guy is there. He's just another MSF soldier.
You're right.
And you can buy that. You can buy that explanation, because every person I've ever played Peace Walker with, they never questioned who the hell the second guy was, or the other three that you would bring for boss fights. Like, no one kind of questioned it. They was like, oh well, if you're Snake, then everyone else is just like an MSF soldier, and that's it. Like, and if there's more than one Snake, that doesn't matter. On your side, they're all gonna be like MSF soldiers, and that kind of just explains itself. Sure, they're not significant to the story, but for gameplay, it works just fine. That, like in Phantom Pain, that was another thing that people wanted, where it's like, where they thought the buddy system at first, like in speculation, it was going to be a co-op mode where you could just bring another person. And for the open nature of Phantom Pain and how the mission works, like it would have been nice.
Exactly.
It's like I still wish Survive single player was co-op as well, and not just like a separate mode for it.
I would wish that too, but
just,
who knows? They could surprise us. It's just being released, so they're getting ideas from what people had. Like Ghost Wars didn't come out until what, 2 years after the game came out?
Yeah, and also that like when it comes out, that doesn't mean that it's final because just like in Ghost War at first, people said that there was no reason to play it because well, other than leveling up and buying skins with real money, there was nothing there. But now they're adding in actual like rewards and stuff for playing the game and that can take over to the single player and stuff. And I think they're adding in loot boxes, but. I don't know about that part. But...
Alright, so Kios87 says, I did want a co-op for Phantom Pain, but not really a multiplayer mode. Where I feel like that's the same thing. Peace Walker gave us a multiplayer mode, but it wasn't it side missions compared to the story?
Oh, well, in Peace Walker, it was the entire story. You played the entire story in co-op, and you also had the versus mode as like a multiplayer versus mode that you could do on the side.
But I meant for the
And
modes,
everything
weren't they just side missions or boss battles that you were able to do in Peace Walker?
No, you could do side missions, boss battles, and the main missions themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could play the entire story with a friend.
And that's what you're expecting for Survive. You
from
rather have Survive be able to tap into the main story missions as well, and be multiplayer.
Yeah, because the main story is open world while the multiplayer is like confined. And I'm like, everyone when they heard about Metal Gear, but in co-op they were thinking, oh man, if you could do like Wildlands where it was like open world and you could all go anywhere, and like strategize together and do missions.
But it's also
like,
because it's
like that way, like that would have.
I also think it's also because they didn't say multiplayer is just gonna be multiplayer, because they said the multiplayer is gonna have its own story, and then because you're playing as an avatar, you're not playing as the same main character.
Yeah.
But then single player is gonna have specific characters that are just mother-based soldiers that are gonna have like their own character roles, I guess you could say, as like a main character, side mission guy, and then a mission objective person, from what you can see.
It's fucking amazing how, despite being so close to release, we're still not sure what's actually gonna be in there. That I don't know if that's like a prop to the game or you know, diss to Konami's like how they deliver information. I don't know how to feel about it.
Me neither.
Well, what's wrong is I kind of feel it's a good thing that they haven't showed too much about it, because if they do, then you kind of know what to expect in the game.
All the surprises are kind of.
Actually, I think it's a perfect marketing strategy. If you think of it as far as a marketing strategy, like if the game is $40, you're assuming it's going to be a short game or something that's just a bunch of game modes thrown together. It's not going to be really story-based driven, or a $60 full Blu-ray disc, 35 gigabyte game that has a massive multiplayer customizations and whatnot. So they made it a $40 game, so you know it's a short, simple game that focuses on gameplay. But they have a story mode that focuses on story, graphics, and probably in-depth emotion, probably towards the game that you're gonna feel for the mother-based soldier that you're gonna be playing as a main character. The avatar for the multiplayer is going to be something kind of you create, you survive, you build on that, and you continue, almost similar to the Phantom Pain's FOB. Like story mode, you had FOB. Well, hold on, that's not what I meant. You had the story mode mission, and then you had side ops. You had side ops. That's what I meant as far. But the side ops tied into you unlocking Quiet or the Walker gear or saving Huey that threw into the story. Like you weren't able to unlock the next part of the story until you hit that multiplayer base. Kind of in the same sense, but from what I hear, they're not tying anything. I was like, why wouldn't you tie it? If I do something epic in single player, I want that in multiplayer as well, so that I can use to show friends. But from what I understood, they weren't gonna tie anything, which was a letdown to me. But I'm more of a multiplayer focused player anyway. I like playing competitive multiplayer, either carrying the team or fighting a high competition. That's where I focus my stream around. So who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I'm kind of on the opposite side of the spectrum. I burned my competitive side out like all during MGO2 days, like playing it every single day, every waking hour, just invested so much time into it that, and I love the game so much that since nothing really compares to it to me still, in terms of how in terms of the feeling that it gave me, when I was playing it at the time, I just can't really I can't really output that same level of energy I used to, waiting for survival every weekend or in tournaments every week.
Mhm.
Like I just been playing kind of casually now, like even Rainbow Six and stuff. Like I don't know, like I guess I'm burnt out, and I'm looking for other things to draw me in, other than just like, you get to prove how much better you are compared to everyone else. Like I kind of want something with a little bit more substance, a little bit more personality to it,
I feel you. I could
um,
agree with that.
and multiplayer games can do that. Like the multiplayer games can do that because that's the main draw to get people to play the game that aren't competitively focused. Like Overwatch has like their own skins, and people play it to like grind for skins, or how in Call of Duty they have the fucking weapon skins now. How they do that? Like most people play just to unlock
Mhm.
everything and play and do challenges. Like for the competitive side of it, while it is there and people play it to still be the best, uh, there are also plenty of options, or draws for other people that aren't necessarily competitive focused. I feel like that's what my interest mainly lies in.
Hmm. All right, we have another comment in chat. Kia says, "I'm I'm like I like being competitive sometimes, but if that's the only purpose of the game, then it will die fast or die out fast." I disagree with that only because I
Um,
say single player is story. It's like they said, 20 hours of online campaign story mode that gives you content. But I feel like multiplayer is based off your own personal, I guess, tolerance for grinding, because multiplayer is endless. Like they could just keep coming out with updates later on, and you'll have something new and fresh to continue the game with. It could continue now. It could be 5 years from now. It could be 10 years from now. But it's still something that's live and going. Where story mode, after you completed the story 100%, S ranked everything, there's no reason absolutely to go back, because you'll be doing something you haven't, or something you've done already to the best of the game's capacity. So I feel like it wouldn't say it would die out quick, but
I'd
it's
say it's
more
more
on your personal preference.
well, well, uh, in terms of dying out quickly, it's not like people are gonna play it on the first day and just get tired of it the next.
Hmm.
It's more like grinding in any game is like a pickaxe going to a wall. It's like it's making decent progress, picking away at the wall, right? Like you're barely making dents into it at first, but then you slowly start seeing cracks, and then eventually the wall gives out. Um, Grinding to me is a perfect comparison to that, because eventually it'll wear you down. Like no matter how many times you do, like no matter how many times you play, if you keep doing the same thing over and over
Hmm.
again, and you don't have much of a reason to do it, other than just to have a quick game and to have some, actually get to a point where it'll drag you down a little bit, and you'll just be like, I don't know what to do anymore with this, and you'll eventually go out. Now, if the game keeps adding content to revitalize that feeling, and giving people a lot more to go with. If FOB is anything to go by, we can expect updates to be kind of infrequent in a way,
Hmm.
like maybe on a monthly basis to get like updates for content. Then it's safe to say that players that they might burn out like of the multiplayer fairly quickly.
That's true too. But like I said, but that's why it's
Because
separated to personal preference. Because like I said, for me, if I'm grinding a game, let's say in a few years they give you like the rocket arm, and you're able to use the rocket arm in the survival, but you need to grind battle points in the multiplayer in order to get it. You would have to grind it out. Basically, the update release, you're able to buy it and you're good to go. But if it's something that you said grinding is just not for you, and you played a couple times and then you're just like, I've done this already, I don't want to have to grind battle points to unlock this. That's where I feel like multiplayer would be perfect, because then that's usually how they add microtransactions, where if you don't want to grind for it, you usually buy it and then you're good. But it's something.
Well, but Konami themselves have made it a point to not include microtransactions to that level.
Exactly. So that's why this game is, like I said, it's gonna be something you're either gonna grind to get, you're gonna be able to unlock with time, or it's gonna be something you're gonna have to, I guess, earn a certain ranking within the game modes in order to be able to unlock it some way.
To unlock it.
So they give you a variety because, like I said, they try to fit all taste buds as far as all the current games that are currently out. What people are doing is, as far as playing a game, it's either you're playing a battle royale type of game, multiplayer, you're playing a team deathmatch kind of multiplayer, or you're playing like Call of Duty Zombies, which is wave based multiplayer. But in order to have a Konami having a zombie based game, so it's considered a survival game, to add a third person shooter to it, to add a leveling system to it, and then to actually throw in game modes, you're limited on what you can actually do as far as competitiveness, whether it's like fighting your friends or teaming up with your friends. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a way that you can outdo your friend, but I'm not sure. That's the part I'm not sure about, how they're gonna incorporate that. If it's gonna be like an FOB, steal somebody else's resource, get back to your base, survive, or get to like the wormhole to extract, survive kind of thing. But I could see how they can make that now that I've seen FOBs to the extent that it's like an infiltrate your base, defend, or get past the defenses, get in, get out. But with this being focused on resources, from what I've seen so far, I could see that how that can help.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you completely on that. I don't know how else they could do it other than having leaderboards and stuff, but if there's something in the game where you can directly affect another player, then who knows what that would be, because I believe we were told already that there is no way for you to go to another player's like actual base.
I don't think they
in the
guarantee
game.
that. Somebody was saying that, but then fake news, which they labeled as fake news, that people were saying what you can and can't do. And they labeled it as something that they didn't post. They didn't say that, but it's been released. But people were saying how, FOBs are going to be back on Metal Base. They said that's false news because it's not considered FOBs. It's considered Mother Base. So by them saying FOBs, it put the impression that, I'm able to go in and infiltrate that and attack other people. But they said they have a Mother Base resources or a Mother Base plant where you would go in and...
Well, they already have base defending, which was something that like your base does get randomly attacked by the zombies or maybe even the Metal Gear
You know
zombies.
what I just thought about?
That's
You know what I
interesting.
just thought about when you said that? I don't know if you played the game Dying Light, where you're able to be the zombie. What if it's like that in Survive and you're able to play as the creature, whether it's the bomber or what they had, that big juggernaut that has like the crystallized arm, sledgehammer.
I was thinking like Clash of Clans for a second, like you know how you because it is a tower defense type situation where you build up in a small area, so anyone that attacks you can have like a certain number depending on how good your defenses are, like the more objects that you have, then the more zombies they can spawn in certain spots to attack. And like they have like the higher the points they have to be able to spawn different things to attack you with. Like that's what I was thinking. And they have a bird's eye view and they can see you defend, and they can spawn in different directions, and that would be interesting. But controlling the ones would be interesting too, but there's not much you would be able to do other than to just walk forward and hit him. But the stalker could give you something. Controlling a stalker, because they can jump around and teleport and do all that type of stuff.
Because I feel like they do have a variety of named bosses compared to the actual minions. So the named bosses, probably you can kill them and that allows you to respawn as something else, like randomize it. They wouldn't make you the same creature every time, but you play through and then you'll have your certain abilities. You can attack from one way, but they already have their default horde that comes out the whole time to help support and then injure people while you can. And if you defeat their wormhole generator or kill off all the enemies, you win that side of the multiplayer compared to the other one. That would be a similar game mode that I can see happen.
Well, yeah, we'll write it down to me then. Let's get it done.
Dude, I'm
Like,
about to suggest right now,
they'll
like,
get
y'all
it
don't
in.
steal my idea. I announced this on this date at this time. Check it out. But
Not like it makes much of a difference because Konami's gonna take it as their idea anyway. So
I don't care as long as I got a game to play. I'm okay.
as long as it gets in the game, that's all you can really hope for.
I'm okay.
So if it gets in the game.
So the next subject I wanted to touch, though, I think that's gonna wrap up the Keiko podcast because we did take a lot of time on that subject, but this is the last subject. But as far as day one, I know day one of release, you're gonna have those toxic fan groups jump into your channel with the "I can't believe you're playing this." How do you guys plan to react towards that? Are you gonna just be like, if you don't like it, F off my channel, or how would you react to those people? Because you know they're gonna come, so they're gonna come hard. Whether it's on your YouTube content, whether it's just you posting out something like, "Hey, I played this game because I enjoy it," they're gonna give you the toxic, and we gotta be strong because they're gonna come in numbers. So Jim, I'll start off with you since you've been the most quiet. How do you plan to handle the toxic when they come?
Well, I've already experienced that kind of thing already on FABs like a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So what we normally do is we ban them, like if they like literally go beyond like to the point now where like it's like enough is enough. But so I give them a chance, like I'll tan them out, like if they get too much. But then if it gets like way too much, then I'll just ban them from the channel.
You see, I don't find that as effective because look, they're coming to your channel, so they're waiting for you to do something so they can prove that we're toxic and we're winning, because now you're gonna get upset and they're gonna be able to clip that and show off, this guy banned me because I said the game was trash, look at him. And they're gonna use everything you do as ammo to fuel even greater fire somewhere else. So I feel like that wouldn't be effective as far as playing them.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I'm gonna just time out as that. I'm talking about like if they literally start being like more like abusive or whatnot, then
I feel like they're gonna be abusive though. They're gonna come there and they're gonna talk smack. They're gonna just throw things, be no hold barns, Team Kojima all the way. Which I'm Team Kojima. Like they're gonna just be heartless though towards you because you're on the game. Period.
No rationality to it whatsoever. It's just like, why are you playing this trash?
Yeah,
like
just straight. Look at this guy. Look at your channel. Look at you. Me, I don't know how I would react because I know sometimes I'm just like, come to my channel again, see what happens. But
man, I know how to deal with it because I mean, the guy that was trying to say that fighters wasn't the gift from God and got the entire fighting game community to come crashing down on me. I have experience dealing with that.
This is what I want to like suggest to anybody that is watching the chat, that streams or that wants to do it. Don't take the toxic that comes to your community and turn it away or fuel it. I would say welcome them in, ask them if they've played the game, give them suggestions on why you like it, and then see if you could change their mind about it. Not trying to say convert everybody to it, because people are just going to be toxic and you can't do nothing about it. But I want you to be yourself, 1, be humble, 2, and then for 3, I want you to give them a reason why they should try it or play it before saying that. Because to tell you the truth, I'm playing it and I don't feel like I like Kojima any more or any less. I feel like I had the same opinion about him. He's great. Anything he comes out with, I'm going to buy because he made Metal Gear, which is my favorite series of a video game. So if the toxic comes into your community, don't go to straight, I'm gonna time you out because you said this, I'm gonna ban you because you said that, because it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help grow the community. We're trying to grow a community.
I never was a guy myself that believed in blocking or stopping people from saying stuff.
That's like pulling a trigger to somebody's head. As soon as you do it, your channel is now dead to them. They're not gonna come back to your channel. They're not gonna ask you any reason why. But if you're able to convince them why you like the game and they see that you're a great person, they might say, hey, yeah, you might be on this game and I hate this game, but you, sir, are great. and I want you to be great.
If anything, your reaction to it, if it's like that, in a way to where you don't show that you get bothered by it easily, would give people the impression that you're level headed and that they can trust you
Exactly.
with what you're saying. Like it would be, but if you went on the opposite, on the other side of the extreme, and just outright blocked anyone that said anything you didn't agree with, then you'll be seen as biased
Exactly.
and that you jumped the gun.
So I want to make sure that not just me, but anybody else who's watching there that's going to be watching this just hears this message. Try not to think rationally. Try to think level-headedly. Like think like a streamer. That's it. Think like a streamer that has, you have mods to do all the blocking and all the curse you out or get off my page thing. But you as a streamer in front of an audience, be the streamer, the one to entertain, to think only about the game and the show that you're doing. Leave everything else to the side, to your mods. That's what I feel like you should do. Because then they won't be on you. It would be on the person coming into your channel or into your community. Because if they're a part of your community, they're there for you, to watch you. They're not there to see you stop the stream, to find somebody in chat that's trying to take away from your channel, to do things like that. So keep focused, keep your eye on the prize, and enjoy the game if that's what you want to do. Or if you're there to stream the game to talk shit about it, hey, do you. But if that's what you're doing, do it. You'll grow followers either way. Just make sure you're doing it for the reason you want to do it. So yeah.
Cause I don't think I could have said it any better.
That's it. So Jim, take away the band hammer, throw it out, put it in the trash, and then find a new high. Stay above the influence.
Yeah, I will. No, don't realize, I don't, yeah. Because that happened before, like a couple years ago, where some people literally started being toxic in my stream, like before. But
that's where I learned. Actually, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's where I learned from that. Because remember, yeah. I'm not gonna give the name, but somebody decided to create a bunch of fake accounts and target K-Code as the enemy. They came to every last one of our channels, created fake names about each and every one of us. Like, they called me Baby Jerker, and I was like, I was laughing at it. I was like, that's pretty funny. How long did it take you to think of that? And I was like, God, that's great, man. But ever since they seen I was level-headed, they attacked every other member. I've seen other people in Keiko get really pissed off, start yelling at them, get off my chat. They just created another account and came back. Same thing. And then their channel became so toxic that the guy got so upset he had to end his stream. He was like, I can't even stream. As long as this thing's going on, I'll probably be back in an hour or two. Cut the channel. Then everything is done, dropped, and then they're out of it. So they went to the next channel. But when they came to my channel and I'm sitting there laughing about it, I didn't entertain it, but I let it know that it wasn't bothering me, and I just kept my stream going. They kept posting stuff, and then eventually it just died down and stopped. My channel was no longer affected, but when this thing went on for months, and I'm saying it went on for months, like I was going into other people's stream and I was unstreaming, and I'm watching these people go crazy in other people's chats. And I'm like, dog, this guy has no life if he's in all of our channels like this waiting for us to go live and being toxic like this. But I just said that's when I learned to be level-headed about different things so that I'm not affected, or I let them know they have no effect on me. Like, they could keep trying, they could keep posting, but they're literally talking to themselves. My community's not even responding to them. I don't even have to say ban them. I don't have to say ignore them. I don't have to do that. I'm just doing something else so that my topic is more important than whatever they're saying. And then I just kept it going. And that's just how I dealt with a toxic group that was targeting us, and I haven't heard of them since.
It's like if it lasts for a little bit too long, it could affect your stream negatively.
That's true,
way,
but then that's when you take it. Yeah. That's when you take it to the
timeline. That's when.
But you leave it to your mods. You'll whisper them on the side or something, but don't take away from what you're doing.
Yeah, like you shouldn't stop the stream all of a sudden to deal with it. Like
as soon as you acknowledge it, that's when you let them know they got you. You're in it to what they're saying. You just
that they're in your head. That they see you. That you see them, and
even screaming their name out on Twitter, it's like, "Hey, this guy," and you start yelling their name out. Hey, so you need to chill out with that.
Oh, that's basically giving them the win.
That's it. As soon as you say their name, and then you know they see them, then that's it. You just gotta read the chat, read it to yourself, read it out loud if you want, but don't give them power over your channel. Just don't. Also, guys, I was gonna do a raffle for a gift sub. Anybody is welcome to join the raffle. It's gonna be open to everybody. I'm opening now. You just type !raffle in stream to join. The winner of the raffle gets basically a free month subscription to my channel to get my Baby Choker's dab emote. Looks like this. Pretty dope. I really enjoy it. Dab. So if you want a chance to win that, I don't think there's that many people in here, but !raffle and you'll have a chance to win if you're not already a sub to me. Or if you are a sub, you can tell me who you would like to win it, and then I'll gift sub that person. But I think that's all for the show today. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope to see you guys later on in the Metal Gear Solid community, and to see any of you guys playing. If you guys want to squad up with me or Jim, we're going to be available day 1. So hit us up, and we'll catch you then. Is there anything else you guys want to say before you guys go? Jim, Sean?
I think I'm good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
You good? You don't want to wish Chad good luck? See you out there in the battlefield, FOB for life or something? I want to see some Thug Edition go back into the game talking about DMS. X gon' give it to you. What? That shit was funny. We'll see.
I got nothing right now, dude. Like that's just it. Like I'm just gonna be playing the game when it comes out, man. That's all it is. Like I'm gonna give it a chance. I have high hopes.
All right, guys. So again, thank you, Jim, for stopping by. Thank you, Sean, for stopping by. It was a wonderful show. I'm gonna post this first in my highlights so that we can have this whole thing recorded. And if you guys did enjoy the show, you can share it, talk to everybody else about it. But I'm gonna continue my stream. I'm gonna stop it for a minute, probably get something to eat. Then I'm gonna continue with this game called The Hunt. It's a game in alpha beta right now, so it's not released to everybody. It's a very closed beta to test out the game. I just got it finished downloading, so I'm probably gonna stream that. If you want to check it out, catch you guys in about half an hour, and then I should be back live. But again, thank you all for tuning in. I'm gonna play some music while the intro closes out, and peace.
What a thrill with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'm melting to you. What a fear in my heart.
Rip, I forgot the giveaway. See, y'all disrespectful. Y'all don't even let me know I was doing the giveaway. I forgot. I'm sitting here. I ain't even pulled the winner. Y'all just !raffle. Anyways. Alright, I'm gonna be pulling the winner to the raffle. I think 2 people entered. 1 person entered. Well, the 1 person that entered, I guess you win. But I'm gonna pull the name now, and it looks like my dog KCAST84 has won the Baby Joker Tab emote. Congratulations, my dude. I will gift sub that to you as soon as stream ends. Back to Snake Eater. Enjoy your life.
But you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor.
Are we good now?
In my time, there'll be no one else. It's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream. Snake Eater. Someday you'll go through the rain, and someday
And y'all know what it is. Respect weapon.